our keynote speaker tonight, or this morning. He is one of the founding fathers of a Filipino organization, movement, charity called Kawat Kalinga. His name is Antonio Maloto. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you for that very impressive and warm welcome to all the delegates. I'm very proud of the people behind this initiative, and it's simply amazing that you have chosen the theme that you have, Ating Panahon. This is your moment. And well, at this stage in your life, you have the whole world before you. And it's important for you to realize that you can really make a big difference in this country or anywhere in the world that would benefit with your presence. But this is also a time for you to decide to really make the right choices. The career, the lifestyle, your own passion. But for young people, what is important is to begin, the rest of your life with a vision. What do you want your life to be? What purpose do you want your life to serve? And I see before me some of the brightest young men and women who will make America, a source of hope for the rest of the world. And you have made America now a kinder face to the world, because it is no longer just the country of the original founding fathers, but it is now a country made stronger by the Asian presence. Because many of you came from parents who had every reason to leave the Philippines to seek a better life. We were all influenced by the gospel according to Hollywood. That it was always John Wayne who was the good guy, and us Asians were the bad guys. But we now live in a world where we're sick and tired of fighting, where we need to really work for solidarity, that we have this planet, as a gift from God, a planet that will be, that will really provide the future for you and for the families that you will raise. And so the career choices that you make should make you better citizens of this planet. And today I come to you, since you're 98% Filipinos with some, maybe a non-Filipino girlfriend or boyfriend or friends. Now, I see before me a very diverse group, but there is a very deep affinity that we have, a love for this country and a love for the Philippines. Is that right? Is that something that we have together? I finished high school in Richmond, California, at the time when most of your parents were not yet born. So I'm 62 years old, and I was raised by a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant family. So I grew up in Santa Cruz, where the first time women started wearing bikinis. So you can imagine the culture shock it was for a 16-year-old from the Philippines. And the first night I arrived in California in the beach, I was wowed by four, really beautiful American girls, and I saw women wearing bikinis for the first time. And they asked me, and I was a very naive 16-year-old, and they said, "Have you ever been kissed? The Filipinos kiss." So I got my first kiss from four bikini-clad teenagers. So this country is my home. I became aware of the world of possibilities here in the United States. It's been a long journey, but over the years it has not been so easy. Since coming from California, I went back to the Philippines, finished my economics degree from the top business school, Ateneo de Manila. Okay. And I worked, and I followed the path that most of you would likely take. You study very hard in a top university, and you aspire to work for the biggest, for the most prestigious multinational company. So at the age of 21, I was taken in by the biggest American company in the Philippines, Procter & Gamble. And getting the best education, going for the best job. And because I had a good degree, I was able to marry a woman with pedigree. I forgot one thing. I became blindsided to one reality that will affect my family and Filipinos wherever they are in the world. If I became blind to the deepening poverty around me. And so it was the failure of most Filipinos who were on a survival mode to just seek opportunities where they can find it and just think of charting their own path according to their ambition, and just forget also that majority of our people lacked social justice, they lacked opportunity, and we did not discover the genius of the poor and the innate creativity in our own people. Because when you came here, when your parents came here, they were handicapped by language, they were handicapped by a lack of understanding of local culture. But they had dreams, and they had the motivation to work hard. And you were the principal reason why they came here, why they left our country in tears, left their relatives, left the homes that they loved, left their friends, because they wanted you to have a good future. And what happened from that sacrifice is that Filipinos were able to prove to the world that they are not second class, that they can also be the top in the universities, that they can be successful in their businesses. Like Tony here is probably the most successful Filipino-American businessman in San Diego. And I've realized too that his own business success was not enough. And so at a certain age, just like me, I had my own midlife crisis, and he had his crisis. I had mine at the age of 35. You know, when you have everything and you realize you're not happy, and you realize that your children will not have a bright future in the country that you love, then that is a cause for crisis. And the same way that your parents, you know, were faced with that crisis, they left the country and looked for the country where the grass was greener. But now, after all of this, one thing that your parents have proven is that through hard work, through a life of honesty, that no Filipino is a squatter in the United States. That the Filipino families here as a group are some of the biggest and the highest taxpayers in this country. That your family raised you well because the environment was right. And the environment was became supportive of their own values, of their own dreams and aspirations for the family. Now, I come to you today with good news. We have the most honest president in Asia right now. And that's why the Philippines now is the fastest rising economy in Southeast Asia. That's good news, right? After this, I would like you to do some research. We have now the most stable stock market in Southeast Asia. We have now the most stable currency in Southeast Asia. And the Financial Times of London identified the Philippines as one of the VIP countries that are worth investing their money. This is Vietnam, Indonesia, and the Philippines. And you're gathered here because you want to make a contribution, you want to leave a mark. And this is now your moment. In the same manner that Filipinos back home, this is our moment to make a difference. And so at the age of 35, I decided I will not accept poverty as the legacy for my children. And unless I consider the poor as part of my family, I will never be able, I will not invest my time, my talent, my treasure on them. And this was triggered by an experience I had when I brought my 16-year-old daughter to the biggest slum in the Philippines. And I started a youth camp for gang leaders. That's the place where Gawad Kalinga started. And my 16-year-old daughter went to the same university I came from. And she was also isolated from the reality of poverty and crime and the ugliness of the slums. And I brought her to the slum, and she facilitated one discussion group with the gang members. And I brought in her group the women who were prostitutes and pickpockets because of poverty. And she came to me in tears after her session. And she, together with her friend, she said, I feel so bad because this girl is only 16 years old. She's my age. But she was raped by her stepfather when she was 13 years old. She had 2 abortions, and she's now working as a prostitute. And I realized, and she, that if my daughter was born under the same circumstances, she probably would be that prostitute. And at that moment, that was just my own epiphany. It was my real road to Damascus experience for me. I realized that unless I consider the children of the poor, the orphans, the strays as my children will never have a good future in our country. And even if they succeed abroad, as long as the Philippines remain third world and many of our people were poor and our leaders were corrupt, that they will still be second-class citizens of the world. We have to tell the whole world that God did not make a mistake when He made us Filipinos. How could I claim that I come from the most democratic country in Asia, with a very deep affinity with America, if my people were not free from poverty and corruption? And I did not have to wait for foreign aid to bring us out of poverty. I did not have to wait for charity, because charity cannot sustain development and cannot build prosperity for our people. And so I realized that the problem of poverty in the Philippines was that we had abandoned our people. The greatest asset we had were the poor, that we had forgotten, we had abandoned, and also the rich land that we had. The Philippines has the richest and the most fertile land and natural resources in Southeast Asia. But look at Singapore. Singapore is built on a rock. They have no natural resources. We have the richest biodiversity, the most number of life forms. And Singapore has less than 5 million consumer base. The Philippines almost 100 million consumer base. So major corporations want to do business in our country because 60% of the world's market is Asia. And the Philippines is a big part of the Asian market. And so I realized that unless we feed our own people, we create our own brands, we own our own companies, we will always be poor. And we were raised by our universities to be consumers, not producers of our own products. We were raised not to be wealth creators at home, but job seekers abroad. We were raised to be politicians and to be professionals, but not patriots. Singapore became prosperous because they love their country through action. Korea used to be the laughing stock. Samsung was nothing. Now they're number 1. Hyundai now is now starting to really surpass many of the European cars. But the Philippines, we're not lacking in creativity, we're not lacking in talent. Because Filipinos, wherever they are in the world, they thrive. The head of Coca-Cola for Southeast Asia is a Filipino. The head for Pfizer for Asia, Terry Macaro, is a Filipino. The head for Shell is also Filipino. Now, I started this journey called Gawad Kalinga, and I'm happy that we got many of the doctors of America to help us. We have more than 300 Gawad Kalinga communities started by Filipino Americans. And I realized that the 4 million Filipino Americans have not stopped loving our country or caring for our people. And I'm here to thank you. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, because this year we had 5 French interns coming from the top business schools of France and engineering schools. And they're there because they're now looking at Asia as the new land of opportunity. And they're coming to the Philippines first as part of their internship program, as their gap year, but many of them are coming back to set up their own business. So one French guy is putting up a business in essential oil. They'll be producing sunflower oil in the Philippines for the first time in our history. They'll be producing also avocado oil, passion fruit oil, etc., etc., because the Philippines has just so much land and so much in terms of natural resources. Another Frenchman is coming to make toys in the Philippines. So toys that does not use any toxic paint, toys that are safe for kids. And more are coming because they want to produce food. We make the best chocolate now in Asia. But I find it very ironic that the best chocolate in the world are known to come from Belgium, from France, from Switzerland, countries that do not grow a single chocolate tree. You realize that, guys? And so I realized we have to end our stupidity. So I'm inviting a lot of the French guys because they're addicted to chocolates. You'll run out of chocolates if you don't come to the Philippines and plant more cacao trees. And so they're coming to plant cacao trees in the Philippines, to plant coffee. And the Philippines imports 99% of our dairy from New Zealand and Australia. When we can grow the cows and we can milk the cows in our country. It's just that our soul was stolen from us. And so it's important now that we find our soul in the young generation of Filipino Americans. Because I want America to realize that their best friend in Asia is the Philippines. We're the only colony. But they help Japan more than they help the Philippines in terms of rehabilitation. So I thought for a while that it's better to be the enemy of America than to be its friend. But now I realize too that America is going through its own transition. And I'm here to thank America for providing a home for 4 million Filipinos in North America. But I want 400 million Americans to realize that the Philippines is their home in Asia. And it's now the most exciting economy in Southeast Asia. And I want you Filipinos in the crowd, you are Americans, you are Filipinos, you can have the best of America and the best of Asia in the Philippines. Is that right?
Yeah.
But I want you to bring your passion with you. We have a vision to end poverty by 2024. And we would like FACT, I would like PSA, we want all Filipino organizations now to really go for a vision. Because no one has ever shared a vision to Filipino Americans that we can end poverty in the Philippines. And ending poverty in the Philippines is good for America. Because America now is now home to many Asians. The Chinese, the Indians, the Koreans, the Filipinos. You're now an important part of America. You remove the Asians, what will be left of America? What will be left of America? And that's why America now is starting to really define its face in the world. It will be a kinder world and a kinder face. And so what we would like now is for you Filipinos in America to realize that this is your country, but there is another country in Asia that is very much in your DNA. And it should be part of your own plans for the future. If you think of America as home, then you have a home in Asia, the Philippines. And you do not want any member of your family to be left a squatter or an NPA rebel or a criminal or a slum dweller. I'd like you to be as proud as the Koreans. I want you to be as proud as the Japanese, as the Singaporeans who have ended poverty in their country, because that's how the world sees us. You know, it's not just bringing the brightest and the best of our people to a very rich country like America by abandoning also the country only and leaving the Philippines to squatters and rebels and criminals. But now, this is to me also what is happening in our country. We're starting to find our soul. And recently, when we did a survey of the universities, because I've been giving commencement speeches in many of our universities, there has been a major change in the last 5 years. Now, 70% of our people do not want to leave the country anymore. Before it was the reverse. 70% wanted to leave the country. Now 70% of our people want to stay in the Philippines because they see now that the future of the world now includes Asia. And Asia will be center of the universe. And a lot of development is happening in the emerging economies of Asia. And that's where capital is flowing. That's where businesses now are being opened. That's where jobs are being created. And so young people now want to see the world. And I have been sharing this with David, that we would like to invite Filipino Americans and even students, non-Filipinos, of the University of Illinois and other universities in America to join the Europeans now. We have opened the floodgates for Europeans to come to Asia. And we have created a platform for convergence between Europe and Asia, because we are making the Philippines the gateway for social to enter Asia through bottom of the pyramid wealth creation. We're going to create prosperity that the world has never seen, but the kind of prosperity that does not leave the poor behind. This is your moment. this is how you're going to leave your mark. So the first thing I would like you to do is already to talk to your parents that you want to go and visit the Philippines and see this strange animal called Gawad Kalinga. Would you like to know more about this organization? Can we show the video, please? You believe that you come from the country that will be the next miracle of Asia? Do you believe that? Do you want to be part of that miracle? Though you want now to build a strong nation that is that is home to Americans in Asia. Is that something that is interesting for you? Can you give me 7 years of your life and I'll make you very rich? See me afterwards. The only condition is, for you to create wealth in the Philippines, you have to bring as many poor people with you as possible. Because the Philippines will not be built by only 15 multi-billionaire taipans, families that control all the wealth in our country. But I want to raise 1 million millionaires in the Philippines. That includes many of you. So if you want to know more about the Asian market, if you want to know more about the country where you came from, if you want now to help us achieve our vision of ending poverty in the Philippines by 2024, if you want to build businesses that will be of benefit not only to the Philippines but to the rest of the world, if you can be your own CEO of the company that you will start, if you want to be the best looking guy now to all the pretty girls in the world, join us. Because in Gawad Kalinga, we raise heroes, not wimps. So the most hardworking, the most intelligent, and the most persevering people, those who will not give up, not give up on their dreams, not give up on their hopes, not give up on the girlfriend that they will have or in the family that they will raise, but will build a better family, that the world, that will bring peace and prosperity to the rest of the world. And I'm simply overwhelmed. This is the best audience of young people I've ever had in America. You know this very profound American philosopher who said, with great power comes great responsibility. You know? You know the movie Spider-Man? My source of inspiration comes from another profound American philosopher who said, build and they will come. It was Kevin Costner in the movie The Field of Dreams. I'm a very simple man, and that's why my philosophers are all very simple, folks that I watch in the movies. But that's how exactly we wanted to make a difference. That you can really be able to make a difference in the world by just using your common sense. Using also not only your IQ, but developing also a strong SQ, a social quotient, but also developing your own AQ, your adversity quotient. And so we want to invite you to discover Asia and enter Asia through the Philippines. It's more fun in the Philippines. And we need you. God bless you.